Hello students, this is Chemical Kinetics part 5. Here we will discuss pressure change method for calculation of the value of a rate constant. Earlier we have discussed the rate constant in terms of concentration of reactants and products. That means there we have derived K is equal to 2.303 by T log concentration of R at time t is equal to 0 divided by concentration of reactant at time t. This is for first order reaction. So right now we are going to discuss the pressure change method, and this is the calculation for rate constant. That means we have to determine K in pressure change method. So we are taking here the pressure into consideration. That means the reactant and products must be in a gaseous phase. So let us consider a typical first order gas phase reaction in which 1 mole of reactant A, which is in a gaseous state, reacts to form 1 mole of B and 1 mole of C, in which both B and C are in gaseous states. So when time t is equal to 0, what was present? Only A was present. That means the reaction has not started at time t is equal to 0. At that time, Pi be the initial pressure of A. That means at time t is equal to 0, the pressure of reactant, it is equal to Pi. After some time, when the reaction continues, what happens? A gradually decreases and simultaneously the concentration of B and C gradually increases, and here we will say that the pressure of A gradually decreases and the pressure of B and C gradually increases. Suppose at time t the total pressure is equal to Pt, and we know after the reaction some amount of A is present, some amount of B is present, some amount of C is present. So the total pressure is given by what? The addition of or the sum of partial pressure of A with partial pressure of B and partial pressure of C. So where PA and PB and PC are the partial pressures of A, B, C. So let's go back to the chemical equation once again. A in a gaseous states reacts to form B and C. So at time t is equal to 0, the pressure, it was Pi, initial pressure Pi atmospheres, and at that time there was no B, no C. So here the pressure 0 and 0. At time t seconds, what happens? Suppose x is the decrease in pressure. So what is the pressure of A during that time? Pi minus x. It was Pi and decreases x. So right now it is Pi minus x. So during that time, what will the pressure of B? It is x atmospheres. How much it will be for C? It is x atmospheres. So why? How to understand? You see here, suppose you think one molecule of A decomposes to form one molecule of B and one molecule of C. Suppose you will take in mole, then what we will say? 1 mole of A decomposes to form 1 mole of B and 1 mole of C. Suppose you will say in X expression, X moles of A decomposes to form X moles of B and X moles of C. Then if you will express in pressure term, if here pressure X decreases, then increase here X atmospheres, here also X atmospheres, because the stoichiometric coefficient here is 1, here is 1, here is also 1. Concept clear? So let's go for the expression of a rate constant in terms of partial pressure. The expression will be K is equal to 2.303 by T log initial pressure of the reactant divided by pressure of the reactant at time T. Just compare it. It is not at all difficult. You can compare it with this expression. It was for concentration. So that was K is equal to 2.303 by T log concentration of R at time T is equal to 0 divided by concentration of R at any time T. Okay. So here concentration is replaced by pressure. That much. There is no difference. Okay. So let's move. So we know initial pressure. One can measure initial pressure very easily. But how can we determine the pressure at any instant T? How can we determine that? For that we have to move here. You see, total pressure is equal to how much at time T? It is the addition of this and this. We have to add these three pressure so that we will get the total pressure. You see the expression Pi minus x plus x plus x minus x plus x gets cancelled. So Pt is equal to Pi plus x. Okay. So x is equal to how much? Pt minus Pi. Right now we have to find out the value of pressure of A at time T, because here a reactant is A, and always we take into consideration reactants, concentration of reactants or pressure of reactants. We don't consider the products. So here Pa is equal to how much? Pa is equal to Pi minus x. Pi is here. What is the value of x? We have to put it here. We have to simplify it. You see, finally we got how much? Pa is equal to 2 Pi minus Pt. So the expression was 2.303 by T log Pi by Pa. So Pi is there. We have to put the value of Pa only from this. And that's the expression for what? This is the expression for the rate constant in terms of pressure change for fast order reaction. This is for what? Fast order reaction. Okay. Now we will discuss half-life of a reaction. So what is the meaning of half-life of a reaction? You see here, the time in which the concentration of the reactant is reduced to 1/2 of its initial concentration. That is called half-life period. That means what? Half of the reactant will be consumed in a particular time. That time period is called half-life of the reaction. So here we will discuss about half-life of a reaction of zero order reaction and for fast order reaction. So you see here, for zero order reaction, the expression for rate constant is given by K is equal to concentration of R at time T is equal to 0 minus concentration of R by T, where concentration of R is concentration of reactant at time T. So half-life means what? The time will be T half, and the concentration of reactant at that time will be half of the initial concentration. So you will observe here the rate constant expression will be changed. You see, we have to change this expression for T half. What will be the change? Concentration of R will be equal to half concentration of R naught, and T will be replaced by T half. So you see here the expression is changed like that. We will simplify this. We will get T half is equal to initial concentration of R divided by 2K, where K is the rate constant. So you will find here for zero order reactions. So for zero order reaction, what do you observe? The half-life period is directly proportional to the concentration of a reactant at time T is equal to 0 or to the initial concentration. Clear? And inversely proportional to the rate constant. Clear? So for fast order reaction, K is equal to how much? The rate constant expression is how much? 1 by T ln concentration of R at time t is equal to 0 divided by concentration of R at any time t. Clear? So if we will convert this ln into log, then the expression will be here 2.303 will be there or what? So K is equal to 2.303 by T log concentration R naught divided by concentration of R. Okay. So if we desire to find out T half, then T will be converted to T half, and here concentration of R will be converted into R naught by 2. You see the expression is changed like this. Clear? If we will simplify this, so what will happen? You can see in denominator 2 is there, so it will go here. Concentration of R naught, concentration of R naught will be cancelled. Finally we will get what? How much? Finally we will get how much? Log 2. So here we got log 2. Okay. So what is the value of log 2? It is 0.301. So if we will multiply this with this, then we will get how much? 0.693. So K is equal to 0.693 divided by T half. If T half will go to this side, then T half will be how much? 0.693 divided by K. So what do you observe here? Are you observing any concentration in this case? So in first order reaction, the half-life is independent of concentration. Okay. Now pseudo first order reaction. So what is the meaning of a pseudo first order reaction? So meaning of a pseudo means fake. That means a reaction is not a first order reaction, but seems to be first order reaction under special conditions. That we will know how. So let's go for the statement. The reactions which are not actually first order reaction but behave as first order reaction under certain conditions are called pseudo first order reaction. Okay. So how? You see here, you observe what? Hydrolysis of ester. So whenever we go for the hydrolysis of ester, if we will, you can find in this case the concentration of water in hydrolysis of ester becomes very high. So if the concentration of water becomes very high, obviously its concentration will not vary over certain period of time. That means almost we can say its concentration remains constant. That means the rate will depend on the concentration of this. Okay. So we can say it is first order reaction. Under that condition, whenever we are taking a particular reactant in excess, here we are taking water in excess, then it behaves as a first order reaction, but it is not actually first order reaction, but under special conditions, then it behaves as first order reaction. So let's see here, at time t is equal to 0, the concentration of ethyl acetate was how much? 0.01 moles. Similarly, the concentration of water was how much? 10 moles. So at that time, as time t was equal to 0, so no product was there. Suppose the reaction is completed, then concentration of ethyl acetate is 0, and what is the concentration of water here? 9.99 mole, and acetic acid 0.01, and ethyl alcohol also 0.01 moles. So what are you observing? Here 10 moles was there. After the reaction 9.99 mole is there. So its concentration almost does not vary. So you see here, concentration of water is not considered in this case. Why? Let's see here. Rate is directly proportional to K prime. Rate is equal to K prime concentration of CH3COO C2H5, that is ethyl acetate, into concentration of water. As concentration of water is very high, so it can be taken as constant. It does not change, it is taken as constant. So rate is equal to K into concentration of what? CH3COO C2H5. So what is K? If we will multiply this with this, whatever we find, that is equal to K. Okay. So let's go for the example. inversion of cane sugar. So C12H22O11, that is the formula of cane sugar. When it reacts with water, that it undergoes inversion, then what happens? In presence of acid, what is formed? Glucose and fructose is formed. So here rate is equal to K into concentration of what? This much. Why? Because it is present in large amount, so it is independent of this concentration. So this is an example of what? Pseudo first order reaction. So what is pseudo first order reaction? The reaction which is not actually first order reaction, but under certain conditions, that is if any reactant is taken in larger amount or in very less amount, under that condition it behaves as first order reaction. That is called pseudo first order reaction. Thank you for watching.